Okay, we've got the telephone on, making a lot of noise. We've got the telephone handset is red and facing down, and the pause screen sharing is not lit, and the stop is not lit, and the record button is on red, and we should be seeing the incognito window that says new tab. And now we can try typing in the COS logon and return on that. And here we arrive at the logon COS login system. We'll sign out just for the sake of it, showing what it looks like. And there's the convention of states, sign in. I'll pick the one I want to use right now, which has been saved in there. If it wasn't, you'd have to type it in. And I already have my password memorized. So now I punch sign in, and I'm back to the place where I can select one of 5 different things: Legislative Management System, Patriot Games, COS Surveyed, DC Enablers, and Help Center. I'm going to pick the Legislative Management System, and you can see up here in the corner I've got the circle turning, and up pops the COS Legislative Management System. This is for a district in Florida. It's got across the top 4 or 3 buttons really, drop-down menus: legislation, legislators, and grassroots. It comes up in Florida on the legislator screen, and you can see the legislator drop-down is the same as the legislator horizontal tabs here under legislators. Districts, sync, and horizontal. Yep, they're the same. So now we've got a list of legislators, and as a district captain, I get to see the information about my House of Representatives individual, who in this case is Representative Eric Eisnagel, and my senator, who is Kelly Stargell. It gives you the district and for each, and it tells you what's going on with those 2 senators, those 2 representatives, those 2 legislators. As far as we know at the moment, we know what chamber they're in. If you wanted only the upper house, you could do that. This is not too useful for DC, but when you're looking at the whole state, it has a lot of merit to it. So we'll just leave it on both. We can tell what party they're in because we've entered that data. We know what their cost position is, or we don't know, in which case we need to find out. And we need to know what the district category is. Are they a member of the COS caucus? How many petitions do they have in each of their districts? And what are the action reports? So we'll go talk about each one of those things. Before we go any further, let's look at what the possible, it's a drop-down menu for COS position. And as a DC, you're supposed to figure out what your legislator's position is. You do that by talking to them, asking them, interfacing with them, do whatever you can to find out what their position is with regard to our application. And if you're in a state that is working hard to get the application passed, this becomes vital information for the strategists at the state level to decide how to spend resources trying to get support. If they already support, you won't waste your energy trying to get them on board. If they're on the fence, then that may be somebody that you have to work on fairly hard. If they're opposed, then you're going to have to decide whether or not they can be converted. And if it's unknown, that's the worst of all worlds. We don't know whether we got a good guy or a bad guy. Also, if you're looking to get your legislation introduced, the application introduced into the legislature, you need to do the determine whether they would be willing to do a sponsor or co-sponsor, or if they're interested in sponsorship. Important stuff. And the district captain, working with their legislator, that's establishing that relationship, is a vital part of a district captain's job. In addition to that, we have the district category information. These are the kind of things that that may occur. You can select one or the other of these for each one of these districts, and it can be different from Senate versus the lower level, the lower house, upper house, I should say. And if you only have one legislative body like Nebraska, then it'll be whatever it is. There are a number of different possibilities of things that we want to look at the district and how you want to proceed. If it's already done, then maybe we're just trying to increase the number of people in the grassroots, the number of people who are willing to volunteer to contact our legislator and to make them understand that this really is a very large movement. The other thing that if they're already on your side, you could very well imagine if you had a position over here where it supports, and you've got a then it probably is a grassroots growth activity for that district. If the legislator doesn't really know what's going on, then you obviously need to go to some effort to educate them. Suppose you've just had an election and you've got a new person has taken over that district. Then you need to go educate and outreach to that legislator, try and convince them what's going on. Also, you could be in a position where you can offer aid to another district, and it kind of implies that your district is safe. Or you could be looking at this stage at an upcoming election, which is the case in Florida at this particular instant in time. If you're getting close to committee hearings, or you're trying to or floor vote, you may need to marshal your resources, get as many of your volunteers as possible to show up at the Capitol and pressure your legislator. Similarly, if you're looking at a hard target kind of district, one that has indicated opposition or indicated that they're waffling in some way or another, you may need to work hard on them, and that may take full public pressure from your grassroots. And then finally, we've got a Democrat target. We need Democrats to help support calling a convention of states. They should understand that they need to provide their input to a convention of states to make sure that these are amendments that will actually make their lives better, just like everybody else's that we're targeting. So the whole point is Democrats need to understand how this works and why it's good for them. And that's going to be a hard job for a district captain to get across in a district that is represented by some Democrats. They're hard over. So pick the ones that apply, and these will change from time to time. And when the election's over, then we'll have a new set of values in here. Cost of membership is a function of whether or not they've signed up, and we are still working that issue. This is where the legislators can contribute to the rules that would govern a convention, at least initially, when a convention is called. We have a set of rules that have been published on our website, and this is indicating whether or not these individuals have joined that caucus online. Obviously, the count of the petitions is self-explanatory. And then we have action reports. Let's just look at what happens when we click on the I for action report. Here we've got 2 action reports, and we've got the dates of the actions. On May the 3rd, we met with the legislator, found out that he supports, but you notice we didn't have it changed on the other one. And these are the details of that meeting. And we need to make sure we capture these details so that we have the history of what's going on, and we can go back and refer to it as the need arises. Similarly, in August, we had another meeting with the district captain and the regional captain to plan a meeting for district volunteers. So these are the kind of things we need to have active and reported. And it's important to capture these so that the state leadership knows, and so we can point up to our donors the kind of things that we're doing to forward the cause, if you will. So this took us to a particular place where we had the reports. Now let's just scroll up here and see what else we've got. We have the cost voting history of any recorded votes, roll call votes, that were taken that this particular legislator is recorded as having voted. And in this particular case, these resolutions, none of them had a roll call vote that this legislator participated in. We end up also with the assistants' names and contact information, the capital office and the district office, and this needs to be kept up to date. If you find that something has changed, please let your SIA know, or your legislative liaison, so they can go in and change this. The main thing here, I think, is that there is a turnover in assistants. These tend to be young people that are working for a degree in some university, and this is a check the box on their resume. Above that is the office locations, and again the phone numbers, and they should probably be the same, we hope. And we need to fill in these phone numbers and emails. So as you get information about them, please let us know, SIA or LL, so that the information can be entered into this form. Above that, we have information related to notes regarding the legislator, strategy notes, anything about committees, messaging. If you see something in this messaging, you will also see that message sent to the Patriot Games. So if you're working in that tool, you can see that same message there. We're going to be working hard targets, demographics, any personal kind of information, education information. So we're trying to capture all the information we can about the legislator, so that if, for instance, you are a Gator, for instance, in Florida, and your legislator also graduated from there, you might want to mention that. If, however, he's a Seminole from Tallahassee, you might not want to mention that. So just keep all that in mind. And then we have a picture of Mr. Eisnagel. We have as much information as we can glean. We know when he was elected. We can worry about when he's going to be termed out. And the information that we have about various and sundry things, and whatever if you find any information about any of these topics, please let us know so it can be added. All right, let's go back to the place where we came from. You can get to that page by clicking on the legislator's name. You can get to that page by clicking on the district. Try that again. It's chunking away. Okay. I'm sorry. You get to the information about the district when you click on the district, and it includes who the representative is, and it includes who the district captain is. And this is a test thing that I have in here now for this purposes of illustration. any legislative notes, any legislative contacts that have been logged. These are different from the action reports, as you can see. Down here are the action reports. And I mean, legislative contacts could be, you know, you met him at a fundraiser, at an event. He might have been speaking somewhere that you attended, and so on. Even though these down here under action reports, even though these look like links, they are not. It'll let me go over there and log in, but it won't let you do that for anybody other than yourself. We do have the comments, and we can't get to there from here, so that's a forbidden link. It's not real. And likewise for this other one. All right, now if we go back up here, let's go back over to the front end. So now you can see we have basically all the information about the legislator and about the two houses, and you can see how you can get to their detailed information. If we click on legislation at the top of the page, we have something called sheeple analysis. This is kind of tricky, but it's one of those things that allows you, let's suppose we say, I want to do Mr. Eisnagel. See if I've typed it right. Nope, not too good. Well, that's because he's not in the Senate, isn't it? So I type it, it's in the House. Okay, and I pick Mr. Eisnagel. And I now can see how much of the time has he voted with? What percentage of the time has he voted with each one of the other individuals that are in the Senate or in the House? So here you can see, and I can sort these by the all-time high, and I can look down through all the legislators. So if you're saying, who would I look to help persuade somebody, or who would I look to understand how he might vote? This is a way to analyze that, and this is on all bills. This is not just on the ones of interest to us, because you saw before we didn't really have any recorded votes. And since we've already passed in Florida our application, since we've already passed it, we don't have that information. If we wanted to, we can look at just Republicans and see how we voted with them. And it'll take a little time to sort that out. But here we go. Likewise, you could look at all the Democrats. How does this legislator, how often does he vote with the Democrats? And occasionally there have been times, 75% of the time he'll vote, and these could be just almost any kind of bill. We can also pick which session we're talking about, and we have history now going back to about the inception of Convention of States. We could also pick a particular bill number. Let's see here if we've got House Bill 381. I know that happens to be the bill that we're interested in. And now I can see how some people voted on that bill, and you can see that we had a Democrat vote in favor of our application. And that's kind of important, because if we wanted to approach somebody to talk to them about the Convention of States, this might be an individual that would be receptive to a conversation. The others didn't have opportunity, apparently, to vote on that. Well, I can go to the other page. Okay, and here you see two more, and you see one where he probably wasn't available to vote. So these are the individuals you'd like to approach if you wanted to talk about Convention of States on the Democrat side, because we have some evidence that they are at least open to a conversation. So obviously the people that are in the district captain in that district are the ones that should be doing the approach. Sheeple analysis is interesting, it's complex, it's something that that you may want to learn about, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Let's now go look at the grassroots. And here's where we get into the different training activities. I think I'll go here to state leader training and see what that is. It's processing. You'll notice this title up here says COS University. I believe the plan is that as we develop the courses in the COS University, you'll be able to get your training records, if you will, associated with your district here, so you can see what's going on. In this particular case, I'm listed as having been part of the training activities, and you can see my scores right here. And if I had done all of them, well, you would see that information. And you can see that I've viewed 4 of the videos that are part of the training. So this is what's going on here. There's also going to be volunteer training, and it again will show your volunteer how many people have taken the training in your district. I hope that's right, and I'll change it if it's not. All right, so that's basically the district captain training for using the legislative management system, and I think it's a tool that is important to the national level, and we need to make sure that we keep the information up to date, and that is the crux of this tale. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work.